Hi, Dav here, and today we have a new episode in the art review series, and today we'll be checking out the work of Cyako, or Yuiga Cyako. Now, their work does involve this guy pretty much, or in their recent work, it's pretty much, I think this guy is sort of I'm not sure if it's their OC, main character, or if it's fan art, it's hard to say, but I do like the way they render the face, the hair. It's very painterly and it's attractive. I mean, they do have some girls here, so I'm not sure if it's like a practice thing or if it's their own characters as well. But yeah, the bulk of their work does involve this guy. It's a guy with horns. It looks like devil horns, but he does have some like elf ears. Let me just uh open this guy up. Look at that, right? So vampire teeth, elf ears. The horns are kind of weird because even their horns have like mini horns. Um, Nice kind of emo cut hair, nice physique, freaking ripped, somewhat jacked. And apparently this guy has a long ass tongue as well. So I'm sure some of you would love that. Oh, and has a piercing as well. And yeah, I do like the way they sketch, the way they render. It seems it still has a sort of gritty vibe to it, meaning it's not fully, like it's not so tight, like it still feels like a painting, but it has that sense of presentability, meaning it's not too like chaotic. There is definitely some, clarity in their work. Oh, very short kind of top here. Nice biceps. God. And you can still see the initial sort of sketch. Well, I'm not sure if it's the initial sketch, but you can still see the line work essentially, right? And it kind of blends well with the painting. And yeah, I do like this approach, like knowing when to stop when it comes to your details. For example, for the pants here for this guy, if you just focus down, the only thing that's pretty much rendered or has the most contrast is this part right here in the folds. But everywhere else, it seems somewhat like it's pretty much like a big shape of just like brown or dark gray, dark brown. So they do have a minimal way of rendering, right? Where they pretty much don't overdo it. And they're pretty careful too with adding the pink or red stuff. If you zoom in here on the tips of the ears, in the upper parts of the cheek or basically under the eyes, right? The fingertips, the knuckle joints, some parts of the shoulders, like there are areas where it just I guess blood just accumulates usually in these areas, so it's good to know where these um, places are, and it does make the skin look less sort of dead. And adding the sort of saturated areas, it just makes the person, the character, look a little more, alive. Is it a VTuber? I'm not even sure. But let's just find. Oh, this one's pretty cool. Oh, we have a sketch here. Look at that. So left hand side, we have like a sketch, a very rough sketch. And then on the right hand side, look at how it still feels somewhat painterly. If we zoom in here, can we zoom in? Oh, we can't. Like you can still see the what do you call it? It reminds me of another artist we reviewed, J Dart something. Jalart. I think it's a Korean artist, but they have this sort of vibe too, where uh, you do see these pencil lines. I call the pencil lines, but basically they're not like black inked sort of line work. They're kind of the initial drawing, but they have the sort of gray graphite vibe to it. So it almost looks like pencil, but it sort of fits in even when you add in color. Like you don't totally have to erase these sorts of pencil esque strokes. So let me see the full version. This one. Oh wow. Oh Christ, it's a big image. But yeah, you can see if you zoom in, it is a bit like painterly. Reminds me of the work of what's her name? Ati. ATIE 1225. Hopefully I'm remembering the username right. or maybe a little bit of SE5 EEE something. But yeah, when you zoom in, you do see a lot of like obviously details, but there is some subtle texture when it comes to their brushes. So maybe it's hard to see like from afar, but it's definitely there. And it just makes your artwork look a little more like natural and less sort of digital, because if you always use like the basic round brush, it can look kind of standard or not too interesting sometimes, but adding a bit of texture from the brush itself, not just an overlay kind of layer mode thing, it adds to the look, the style of the thing. But I like the way the hair is done, right? And leaving in those pencil strokes, it looks good, right? And they're pretty good with like detailing the inside of the mouth. Although when you go further back beyond the tongue, it almost has like a very blurred effect, right? I like the eyes too. It almost has a bit of that pastel look, a bit of gouache mixed in with some pastel. Oh, here's like a sketch of that thing. So they are using Clip Studio Paint, so that's pretty cool. So they do like a rough sketch, I guess, in the beginning, and then they start painting underneath for the base like colors or values, and then I'm guessing they paint on top. That's usually the case. To the point where they paint over the rough sort of line sketch. It's a pretty standard approach, but once you actually start doing it, it's actually kind of hard, especially if you have a very rough sketch. For a lot of pros, like they can start out with a very rough sketch, but they can just handle the details when they start doing the paint overs. So that's pretty cool. This one's a bit finished, a bit more refined. So it's the same guy with the horns, with the elf ears, vampire teeth, and they're holding some kind of bunny. And it's a big bunny too. Oh, I do see like a rake brush being used. I think it's a rake brush or something, or a brush with some brush spacing, right? That kind of dashy sort of look there. But yeah, when you zoom in, you start to see the more brushy, painterly strokes. But it looks like they're not using very big brush strokes. I wouldn't say their work is impressionistic. I think it has a certain level of accuracy and control. They do subtly use the blur tools to achieve these sorts of soft edges, right? And they still have the kind of pseudo line work, right, in the contours of the hands, the fingers, the arms, and even for the clothing. It's basically this sort of like, let me just show you, this kind of bolded line, usually in the edges. It's not exactly line work, but because sometimes the color of it is very close to the thing close to it. For example, the line work here tends to be brown, right, to be close to the skin. Well, the line work for the clothes obviously is a bit more blue. So it's kind of line work, but not really. Because a lot of this line work feels more painted than an actual like inked sort of thing. So let me go further down. Oh, this guy's different, right? A bit more polished, right? But yeah, it's, even though it looks like a more finished illustration, it still has that painterly. Well, is it painterly? It just feels like it was done manually, you know? So let me find some more stuff here. This one's a woman, I think. Well, yes. Interesting. Is there a full version? I'm not sure. Let's try this one. Oh, I think this is the full version. Let me just zoom in. Can we zoom in? Ooh. Yeah, look at how tight this one is. It's very different from the man that we've seen, the one with the devil horns with the vampire teeth. Yeah, this one's pretty like touched up, refined, high level stuff here. So she has been eating her cookies, chocolate cookies, I'm assuming. But I feel like they have a thing for like purple, like pink and purple, like those kinds of colors, right? Look at that. So here we have a more finished sort of illustration here. It does have some background. So it's basically the same guy, this vampire devil dude, who's about to eat a planet or something. So maybe he's some kind of god. But damn, look at those hands though. And even the way the face is rendered, it's so like fine. Right? Oh, I like the way they rendered the eyes. It feels very 3D and more like sculpted. Like you can see the massing of the top. Let me just show you. Of the top, bottom part of the eye, the top part, right? You can even see this thing in between. To show the thickness that separates the eye from the skin. Very interesting. It looks more like you will see this more like Korean, South Korean like artists. Whenever they do their version of anime style, they tend to make it look more semi-realistic. So, but is this guy or this artist Japanese or I think they're Japanese, right? Okay. It looks Japanese. Pretty cool. Let's go further. Oh, I think it's the same guy. This one's more of a fuller illustration. Zhongyu Huan Le Cyako. No idea what that is. Oh, damn. Let me just see this full version over here. Oh no, what's this? So it's a rock star guy. Oh, it's the same guy. Most of their work is, I guess, centered around this figure or this character. So we have the horns. Again, when you zoom in, rake brush right there. You do start to see the painterliness of it. But even in this level, it looks pretty like, it's not too, like nothing is ambiguous. Everything seems correct for the most part, or it's clear, like what's happening. And again, they do go the extra mile by rendering the insides of the mouth. Even the way the piercing of the tongue is made, they do apply a lot of like realistic elements in terms of like reflection, lighting, how tongue or how flesh looks like, how skin looks like. Pretty cool. Interesting that the shadow is green for some reason. Maybe it's from the background or the environment there. No, look at that. A piercing in this area. Jesus. Interesting necklace. So they do, I believe, oh, is that a tail? This diamond thing perhaps is a tail. So yeah, I guess this guy is more of like a punk sort of rock, emo guy. I do like the way the pants were rendered. Oh, even the guitar looks nice. I do see some rake brushes being used. Yeah, it's very impressionistic too. I guess they have a bit of that impressionism, meaning they just kind of let the strokes speak for themselves without being too like into the details. I think it works. Damn, this guy's freaking fit. Kind of hot. Okay, let's move on. Oh, look at this. This one seems more... Oh, it's from the phone. Oh, I think we've seen the full version. It's this one, right? So I'm not sure. I believe I've seen this guy before. I think they're from an anime somewhere. But damn, this guy's freaking jacked. Look at those muscles. Right? Oh my god. Oh, look at those nails. Damn, the muscles seem so well formed too. Right? The way the shadows are done. The way the Terminator line is done. It just adds a bit of that, adding this sort of edge. It just makes it look more... It's sort of like a core shadow of sorts. But it's not always a core shadow. Sometimes it's like the end of a shadow, not the beginning. But even though the skin is obviously like it's basically like a yellowish pink. You do see quite a bit of like value variation. And what I mean by that is not just like the shadows in terms of like the muscle insertions, but there is a bit of gradation, right? It's darker here and it becomes lighter, darker here and becomes lighter. So it's very subtle though. It's hard to see, but it's there. Now for the hair, it's just, especially the one in the back, it's pretty much like one silhouette, but in their top sort of hair, it's a bit more like at the bare minimum. You see two values. I do like the ears and how it kind of glows. That's pretty cool. And the eyes too. Cool pants. Oh, look at that belly button. And what do you call this thing? Like the hips. A lot of women apparently. You tell me, but They seem to like the V sort of thing, especially in like really muscular dudes. So maybe this is some eye candy for uh the ladies. Look at them feet. There you go. Although it's too manly, right? It's too like bony. It has to be more like slender and gripper esque. Anyway, moving moving on. I've seen this guy. Oh, I'm not gonna zoom in because it's too risque. This one's pretty cool. So we do see like a girl, looks like it, doing a high kick, and the guy being kind of punched back. Now this one you don't even see like anything that's painterly. It's mostly like flats. The line work is there, and it actually looks more inked. Can we zoom in here? Right? The line work is more like heavy and less. It looks less like a pencil and more of like an ink sort of pen. But they still do the same thing where they color in some lines according to the value or color that's close to it. So some parts of the line work is going to be like brown and some will remain black, right? Pretty cool. But yeah, pretty much most of the image is a bunch of flats. A bit of like gradient stuff happening, but it's very minimal. Especially, for example, in the insides of the skirt. Let me just show you. I'll zoom in here. It does get lighter here and gets darker as you go out. So it adds a little bit of that atmosphere, but it's very minimal. So, oh, we have some black and white sketches. So fun to look at. Look at oh, look at that. Same character. I guess they're playing around with the different views, doing like a rotating view thing. But it's pretty cool because you can sort of get the likeness. Like if you can get the likeness of a character even in black and white, you've pretty much done your job. Everything else is just like a complementary thing. What is going on here? Okay, this is weird. Interesting. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's their specific character, like an OC again, or fan art, but so this is more of a character sheet. Looks pretty finished to me, right? Oh, what's going on here? Kawaii! Very cute. The rendering style is a bit different. I do see a lot more like lasso selections. Oh, what's going on here? Look at them dogs. Barf, barf, barf. Oh, is this like a process video? Or is it just their cat? Oh, come on. Okay, that sucks. Ooh, so I do like this page. Whenever artists do this thing where they have like one sheet, and then they just explore the character in all sorts of ways in just one sort of page. It looks pretty cool. It is a great way to fill up like pages of your sketchbook, whether traditional or digital, right? Yeah, they do like leaving in that line work. And for these sketches, they like adding a little bit of value variation, but not too much. Pretty cool. Yeah, they have a bunch of stuff here, like random images here and there. But oh, this one's cool. It's a bunch of different characters on one page. I'm not sure where this is from, but I do see a lot of like dog ears or cat ears for some reason. But they all look nice and hot. Oh, this is Naruto. So that's something. Sasuke? Hopefully I'm saying it right. Oh no. It's so over. But wait, is it Boruto or Naruto? I don't even know. Oh, this is so cute. Kawaii. Kawaii. Oh, what's this? A bunch of character sheets? Maybe they're trying to explore this. Oh, is this Gintama? I feel like this is Gintama. I haven't seen the anime, but people have recommended the show to me. And apparently it's funny, so we'll see. Oh, food. Is that rice? Where's the meat? I can't eat rice without meat, by the way. Oh, I love seeing stuff like this. They do, aside from Clip Studio Paint, they do draw a lot on their iPad. And you'll notice their style kind of changes. If you compare this sort of look to their more like recent posts, their more recent stuff seems a bit more painterly. And they tend to not show the line work as much, so They do show their range in terms of their style. And it's not just like the way they draw, it's the anatomy too. Is there, I believe there's like, was there a reboot of this in the anime sort of space? Not even sure, but very cute. Oh no. That's a no sort of shot, but I like it. Baby, I like. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, that's so cute. You know, like I like seeing stuff like this, even though like there's no deep story. It's just nice to see, and although it hurts a little bit because I don't have this in my life. Oh, it's over. Oh, some chibis, pretty cool. Yeah, I did not expect. You know, I actually did not scroll far back to this sort of like posts. I've only really like seen the recent paintings they've done or illustrations or sketches, but it's pretty cool seeing this sort of like, is it development? I don't think, I think they just have like a wide sort of style, right? But the change is clear. A lot of the features for their characters did become sharper, or maybe their interests just changed. I'm not sure, but they're still somewhat delicate with the features, right? They have a certain sort of carefulness, meaning they don't go overboard and exaggerate stuff too much. And yeah, the facial features really did change. It's a lot more sharper. That's less kawaii actually, and more like pretty or hot or like demonic, but in a good way. Look at this. I'm not sure what's going on here, but oh, so this guy has been roughed up. But even in their roughed up form, it almost looks attractive. Like, yeah. But even the hairstyle, like everything, the eyes, the face, the hairstyle, the anatomy proportions, it just looks very. It seems a lot more mature, I guess. So yeah, and a lot of the recent work is really focused on this guy with the elf ears and the horns. Here's a cute toy of them, I guess. Kawaii. Are they a VTuber? I don't even know, but yeah, still hot. Yeah, so that's it for this art review of, what's her name again? Cyako. Pretty cool. Again, I did not expect their previous or their past work to be very different, but it's still cool nonetheless. But I guess when it comes to their proportions, like they do draw their characters in a very sort of, they're a lot prettier than normal. Well, all anime characters tend to be pretty, right? But it's just different. Like the style is just like, if you were to show me, like I would assume like these were done by a different artist. So I guess I'm still in that stage of like being shocked or being surprised as to, you know, the style change. But again, it's cool nonetheless. So I do recommend you check out the work. Oh, I really like this one, and having some text in the background, it just looks more artsy that way, I guess. But even with the way it's rendered, look at how there's more like lasso selections compared to their more recent work, where it becomes a little more painterly and less like inked lines and more like, obviously more paint, more brushy strokes, but also more pencil. If there's going to be line work, it's like more pencil-ish and has less of an inked sort of look. But yeah, so that's it for this art review of Cyako. I will link their page in the description below, and hopefully you enjoy the work. Oh, it was kind of hot, Ryan. Look at that. Oh, a freaking stuff. Oh, the hair looks so nice too. Like the way it's rendered. Oh god. In fact, it kind of looks like me. Cope. Okay, anyway, that's it. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.